What's up, guys? Welcome back to the DLB Daily. It's everyone's favorite day. We are training shoulders. And I have a really good workout for you guys. Lots of tips and little different techniques that maybe will help you with your training. So, without ado, let's get started. All right, guys, so we are starting our workout off with rear delts. For most people, we neglect our rear delts a little bit. We're always throwing them at the end of workouts because you're just not thinking of them because you're too busy looking in the mirror doing front raises and presses. You're working on those anterior delts way too much. So those are coming in, but further in the workout. We're going to work the lagging body part, or not lagging body part, but out of the three delts. You have your rear, your medial, and your anterior, front, middle, and rear. Posterior. I mixed all the words up together, but you guys get what I mean. So we're gonna start with them while we're freshest. And we're gonna do one of my favorite exercises, which is the face pull. So the one thing with the face pull is we're gonna perform it just slightly differently. I really want you to focus on getting those thumbs behind you. So this is what I usually see from people, whether you're seated or sitting on the ground or even standing. This is what I look like, or what most people look like. Is this bad? No, it's not bad. But if you want to hit your rear delts a little bit more, you're gonna take that same placement of your hands, but as you come back, your thumbs are gonna point behind you. You're gonna make a W with your arms, or like a back double bi pose. So if I was pulling this way, pulling, and then back. So just like I would be on stage hitting a back double bi, I do it just like that, because, and the reason we click back this way is it initiates that rear delt. So we're gonna do that same exact pose, but with this cable. If you're having problems, we're gonna do it and we're gonna actually try it from the ground. This way you will know, because I want your thumbs when you come back, so you're gonna pull, and then your thumb is gonna touch the ground. And then you will know that you have done it correctly. If you come back and your elbow touches the ground instead of your thumb's out here, you've done it not wrong, but not the way that you could target your rear delts the most. So we're gonna come here, pulling towards our face, and actually your thumbs aren't gonna hit. If you're using a rope, this is gonna hit. You make a W or a back double bicep pose. This, since we're laying on the ground, start really light. Lighter than you would normally do it if you're standing, because you're not going to have any other body parts working. You're not going to have your legs or anything else helping you move the weight or get any momentum. So this is your end pose right here. If you end like this, it's not wrong. We're just not hitting our rear delts as best we can. So we're going to do that from the ground, which we've never done before. So start pretty light. And then we're gonna go right into a wide row. I'm calling it a row because it's gonna look similar to what most people look like when they do a face pull. However, it's more a row because you're rowing your arms. So you're just going to stay right here, keeping your elbows really wide. And that's not a face pull, that is a row. So you're gonna get a little bit of your upper traps, rear delts, even a little bit of back. So start with the laying down face pull, and then we're gonna just keep the cable right where it's at, and you're doing a high wide row. As far as reps go, stick to somewhere around 10 to 12. We're gonna do 4 sets, 10 to 12 from the ground for the face pulls. Stand up, you'll probably add a little bit of weight, and then 10 to 12 there. Let's get to it. All right, moving on to some laterals. So laterals are what are going to give you that X frame. What everyone strives for is being wider up here, so then it makes your waist narrow. So we're doing laterals, but we're going to be using some full range, and we're also going to be doing some partials. So the first part of kind of a superset / drop set, we'll just call it like a superset. We're doing full range laterals. So starting wherever you want. If you like doing laterals more strict, usually I say I like to go a little heavier, and I start with the weights in front of me. I know these aren't heavy, but I start with the weights in front of me, and you'll get a little bit of the trap and rear delt into it. And I don't mind that, because we're gonna go, the next part of the set is gonna be really, really strict partials where you're super isolating. So the first part, you're going heavy with your lateral raises. One thing with lateral raises, I always kind of try to tell people to lead with your elbow. So if the weight is higher than your elbow, it's not necessarily a bad thing, because you can do laterals this way, but that's going to be a little bit more front delt. But if you're doing more hitting your medial head, you're going to lead with your elbow. So that means the elbow should be higher than the weight. So the weight's down here, and you lead with your elbow. I always have a slight bend in it. It's not straight locked out. We will get to more strict stuff afterwards. So I want you going heavy. That first part is, I want those reps to be around 8 to 10. And that means you should be kind of failing around 8 to 10. So that first set, maybe you do 10 or 12, but that next set, I want you to go up in weight and start failing around 8 to 10 reps. I want this heavy. After that, you're gonna go into partials. So most of your workout should be full rep range. So full range is always good, but there is an added bonus for doing partials. So when I talk about partials, we're not gonna be coming all the way down. When you come all the way down, basically you're just relaxing. So it gives your shoulder a break. We're gonna take that bottom part out, and this is gonna be your new bottom. So we're gonna go top, and that's gonna be our bottom. Here is gonna be more of a pulsing. We're gonna do like a pulsing partial rep, whether that's with a dumbbell. I'm gonna show you with a dumbbell, and also with a resistance band. I really, really like resistance band, because there's constant resistance on it the whole time, although you will still get constant resistance because we're not going all the way down with the dumbbells. So the second part, so you do your heavy lateral raises. You're then gonna grab a band, or I will next show you with a dumbbell. You're gonna get your band. Here's the end range, or your end range. So you're going from end range to top range. It's a much smaller movement, and the whole purpose of partial reps is you're gonna add stress overload and time under tension. So your shoulders are no longer getting that break, and this is that whole like burning, this is where you get the pump. We all strive for the pump, and this is where you get it. So strict right out to the side. Again, I also am slightly bent here too. It's not like straight out. I always have a slight bend, and you're just going to pulse, pulse, pulse. And I just wrote to failure. So however many that is, it could be 7, it could be 20, I don't even know. It could be 35. You just go until you can't go anymore. If it's 35, get a heavier band. Don't be a bitch. I don't know if I should say that, but I just did. You can bleep me. Now, if you don't have a resistance band, you can also do this with dumbbells. I'm actually gonna grab even lighter ones just for demonstrating. So my end goal is here. You're just not going down to your side. So we're up here and then stopping here. So you have constant tension. This is where we relax, no tension, tension. So this is where we start. And then you're just gonna pulse, pulse. A little partial. They're like 3/4 to half rep. Okay, and again, pick a weight. Try to get somewhere between 10 and 15. So if you're doing like 25, 35, up these little babies, okay? 4 sets. We're going 8 to 10 with your full range. And then we're also gonna add a drop set to those last 2 sets. So the first 2, you're just going from full range to partials. The last 2, you're gonna go full range, 8 to 10. You're gonna add a drop set to here, 8 to 10, and then go to your partials. You know I love volume. All right, next up, we're now finally moving on to a press. Believe it or not, you don't have to start a shoulder day with presses. I think they are one of the best exercises, along with like lateral raises and getting your rear delts in. But as far as overall shoulder development, you need to have a press in there. And I like to keep them a little bit on the heavier side. So any shoulder day needs to have varying like rep ranges. So some things heavy, some things higher reps, because you got fast twitch and you got slow twitch, both in your shoulders. So you got to hit different rep ranges to hit both of those muscle fibers. So we're gonna go, since it's a compound movement, I'm gonna go a little bit heavier, and these are gonna be alternating shoulder press with contraction holds. So what the heck does that mean? So we've done holds before. This time I want you really focusing on like contracting during that hold. So you're gonna have your dumbbells. I'm gonna do this seated. You can do it standing. I'm doing seated just because it's just gonna be a little bit easier to concentrate. And then we're doing dumbbells. So you're gonna start at the top. The one is gonna stay at the top, one is gonna move. When you get back to the top, then this side goes. So anytime you're doing anything unilaterally, you gotta tighten that core. So core is gonna come into place here. If you're on an incline bench, or if you wanna just do this seated up here, it's gonna take even a little bit more core. If you don't have a bench to like kind of place your back on, and you just have just a flat bench, you can do it that way too. It's just gonna take a little bit more core action. So you pick if you want to add a little more core, or if you really want to focus on the shoulder, just add like a slight incline. Now, the contraction hold. The thing I don't want you to do is have your arm completely straight. Anytime you stack weight over wrist, over elbow, over shoulder, you're going to take tension off because it's all stacked and in line. So your contraction hold is going to be right here, still at the top, but you're going to have a slight bend. So now you're going to have that peak contraction. Here, there's a slight, you slightly take tension off. So right here is peak contraction. You're going to hold that part. So a slight bend in your elbow, not fully locked out. Okay. So, and then we're just going to alternate. We're going 6 to 8 reps. So that's 6 to 8 to each arm. So 1 rep is going to be, so we'll start up here. We got 1, 2, 2. Okay, should I grab some dumbbells? You need to see with dumbbells? Let's see with dumbbells. Let's see what it looks like with some dumbbells. We're not going super heavy yet. But again, because it's a compound movement, I want you going 6 to 8 rep range. So that's pretty heavy. So you're going as heavy as you possibly can for that 6 to 8 rep range. So here is that top part where I don't want you stacking weight completely in line with everything. So we're right here. You're gonna come down, come up. So that's 1 rep. 2 rep, 3 rep, and then all the way to 6. Get it? Got it? Good. This is a set right here. You guys are gonna love this. So we have done cable presses before, standing cable presses, but we usually do like a close grip using the V-bar. Today, we're gonna do a wide grip, like you would normally do on a barbell, except we're gonna be on a cable. So the bonus thing with cables and why I love cables so much is there's constant tension throughout the whole rep. So a lot of times when you bring like weight down, you'll lose tension with dumbbells, even barbells. So this is gonna keep that tension on the whole entire time. So we're gonna do a superset. We're gonna do a standing straight bar, or we're using a lat pull down. Standing, like a wide grip press, cable press. Then we're gonna go right into a wide grip upright row. So we're starting with the compound movement, so because anytime you're using more than one muscle, well, actually both of them are compound movements. Just kidding. Psych, I was testing you. You failed. If you agreed with me. Don't ever agree with me, I might be tricking you. So anyway, so standing cable press, superset, so you'll probably drop the weight a little bit, and then we're gonna go into a wide grip upright row. So first, the cable press. Now, you're probably like, well, how the heck do I get it up here? Just like that. You just do a simple, just like you would a barbell. Just get it up. So I'm gonna go just like I would, just pretend this is a barbell, so I'm just slightly outside my shoulders, and you're just pressing straight up. So obviously this is gonna touch you a little bit, but don't worry. It adds a little extra, it actually adds a little bit of resistance. So this is gonna be, bottom line, is gonna be your new favorite exercise, I'm telling you. Then, we'll just leave that there. We're then gonna switch gears and then hit those medial delts again. And we're gonna do a wider grip. Normally, I do close grip because I like actually hitting my traps. This time, we're gonna take our traps a little bit out of it, widen our hands, so your elbows are gonna be nice and wide instead of coming up this way. And we're only going to pull up to our shoulder. Again, something I typically don't do because I like to involve my traps. I don't really do a whole lot of trap exercises. So we're just going from like a 90-degree and up. So you'll stop right as soon as that bar gets up to your shoulder. As far as like how wide you wanna go, if you're using a lat pull down bar, I'm just grabbing right inside where it bends. So it's obviously a little bit wider than my shoulders. So coming from here, I do a slight bend in my knee, just takes a little tension off your lower back, because a lot of times when you're straight here, you're gonna be pulling back a little bit more, which then involves traps, and then you'll get more tension in your lower back. So I do a slight knee bend, and you're just pulling straight up. And stopping, which the wider your grip, you're not going to be able to pull up towards your nose or like past your what is this? A chin. You won't be able to because you're doing a wider grip. So you just go as pretty much as high as you can, which will be to your shoulders. I'm telling you, that press is going to be your new favorite thing. As far as reps go, we're gonna do this one a little bit on the higher range. For the press, let's go 8 to 10. For the upright rows, 10 to 12. Woo! All right, we are on to our last little superset. You obviously know I love supersets. We can never just do anything regular. Not on shoulder day. We don't do anything regular. So we are finishing off with a little isolation of our medial head and the rear. So we're gonna do cable again because I love cables. That constant tension is amazing. We're gonna do leaning cables, and we're gonna go through our legs. So the purpose of going through our legs is gonna give you that straight out isolation. If you're in front, Anytime you're in front, that's gonna pull on your rear delt a little bit. Not that it's bad, but we're gonna go really, really, really strict. So we're gonna go actually through our leg. So if we're doing our left arm first, your left leg will be forward, right leg will be back. And we're gonna do also a lean. I don't know if I said that, a leaning cable lateral raise. So again, the purpose of the lean is you get more range of motion. So your top range is just a little bit higher. And again, with the cable, constant tension the whole time. One thing I want you to try to do, like we talked about with the partials, instead of coming all the way back down where you're resting right here, there's no tension on my shoulder at all. So if the plates touch, that means all tension is lost. So we want those plates not touching ever. So always keeping a little tension. So if I relax and I go all the way down, plates touch. I don't want to see that. So no plate touching, not on this set. So we're gonna start just a little bit. There's already tension on my shoulder right now, and then you're just coming straight out to the side. Getting a really, really good contraction. These I want slow, controlled, 2 up, 2 down. So 1, 2 up, same rep down. 1, 2 up, hold for a second, same rep down. So maybe it's like almost like a 6-second count on the entire rep. So 1, 2 up, hold for a second, well, I guess 5 seconds. 1, 2 down. So this is super isolating. And right after you do your 10 to 12, so we're gonna do 10 to 12 on this arm, and you're gonna stay on this arm, and we're gonna go directly into a single arm reverse cable fly. So how you would do that, you could take this off if you want. I'm just gonna keep it on. So you're gonna have to move away because we don't want the plates to touch. So constant tension means you gotta back off, move away from it. Now with the reverse fly, you're gonna start pretty much coming all the way across your body. So it's right here, and then you're just reverse flying. You're not pulling back, you're not bending your elbow, you're not really like squeezing your shoulder blades together. That is for rows, that is for back day. So no focusing on like, oh, squeeze those shoulder blades together. No, you're literally just, think of a pec deck. Pec deck, you're just flying backwards. So don't bend your elbows, no squeezing your back. We want all this tension and squeezing from our rear delt. So you're just coming out to the side, and it should just basically make a straight line. So it shouldn't go out this way, and it's not going behind you. It's making a straight line, keeping that elbow in a fixed position. So it's not straight. We're not going straight and then straight. You're gonna bend your elbow ever so slightly, and then it stays in that bent position the whole time. And then you're just flying straight out. And that's then, after you do both exercises, then you'll switch arms. So if I'm going right foot forward, left foot back. Unless you want to be a hog and steal both sides. Don't be a hog. Don't be that person. Only I'm allowed to be that person. Leaning on this side, coming straight out. 1, 2 up, hold for a second, 1, 2 down. The biggest, honestly, if I had to say what to focus on, which part of the movement here, is actually the negative. The negative is where you're really going to get the most growth out of it. So really slow on the way down, 10 to 12, and then you'll go right into your rear flies here, coming straight across. I think I wrote 3 sets, but we'll do 4. 3 or 4. Do 4. I said do 4. 4 sets, 10 to 12 each. Here we go, and we're almost done. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that workout. Until next time, who knows what we'll train next. I gotta go quick take a selfie before I lose my pump. See ya.